Yo, what's going on, guys? Going to be going over today's, or not today, sorry. I just got super busy over the week, from Thursday, Friday. So I'm going to be doing the trade recap today, which is the Saturday. But I'll be going over how I actually ended up losing, which it probably shouldn't have been a loss, but we're going to go over what happened. Um, so yeah, ended up taking this trade, and I didn't go break even, and I probably should have. And I'm going to get into why. It's definitely just a learning experience with this one. It's actually it's super unfortunate error. I just didn't. I can't even fucking talk. I didn't even notice this at the time, but overall, coming into the market, if you look at the higher time frame, let me just go back a little bit here. So overall, leaning like pretty bullish in a sense. Of course, we had these good draws on liquidity above us here, and this is also going to be a 4-hour gap, right? So with that in mind, overall, I could see bullish price action just because of how we were moving inside this range. We're moving higher, moving higher. Pretty simple, just like lower time frame kind of buy model, while overall it's kind of looking like we were in a higher time frame sell model. And we did fill this new week opening gap as well. We had previous day low below, so we had good draws above, good draws higher. Wasn't really much of a bias, kind of just seeing how the market was going and going from there. Um, so yeah, hold on, let me skip 15 minutes here. So we end up taking out our final draw on liquidity prior 9:30. So at this point, I was definitely seeing like bearish price action being a possibility for sure. And with this, we ended up reacting off of this, which is a sweep of this 4-hour, beautiful 4-hour wick to the downside here, huge rejection. And then we come into this 30-minute fair value gap, which we have below here, super aggressively. And then with this, I was pretty much just setting a simple condition. If we wanted to go higher here, we should disrespect this 5-minute gap, flush through this, and then start heading higher. And then yeah, seek prices higher, continue this buy model that we have going on. But if we see that we are going to respect this 5-minute gap, that is showing that we are delivering off of this 4-hour, which would be a sponsored 5-minute gap. Um, and this 30-minute is not holding the power that it should be holding, right? Considering that we ended up coming into this 5-minute, rejecting out of it, displacing downwards after coming into this 30-minute for value gap, there's no reason for us to be, for a 5-minute bearish for value gap, to be beating a 30-minute bullish for value gap, especially with the narrative that we had going on here with the 4-hour high being taken out. So this was a sponsored 5-minute for value gap here, right? So with this in mind, we ended up getting a, I think it was 945 opened higher. So we had 945, 930 stacking PO3, right? Technically, I would label this as a 930 open higher. Like we manipulated prior 930, and then this is essentially a 930 play just pre-market. But in my opinion, it still is a 930 play. I'm pretty sure ES ended up taking out this high, and we got an SMT here as well. Right, so they're coming into this 5-minute gap, and we ended up respecting this 5-minute gap and getting immediate displacement down. Now this was a 1-minute CISD with a 30-second inversion, and I ended up taking this here. And honestly, I didn't really see a break-even point on this trade. I was just going for the full draw here, just this internal low. And yeah, ended up getting edged pretty badly for price to completely reverse and just slam my stop loss, which was super unfortunate. Ended up actually getting slippage as well on this with this one candle, as you can see. Ended up costing me a bit more than I wanted it to, but that was okay. It is what it is. But the mistake that I actually ended up making here was, it's really cringe, but we'll go over it. I should have went break even once we took this low, this 947 low, right? The reason why I was looking at it saying like, oh no, we don't have to go break even here. We should not be rejecting off of this actual useless low. But now when I go and look at it, and we want to go and look at the ES on my right hand screen here, if we find this low, where is it? Bro, what the? Oh, that was the other day. Hold on. Yeah, is this it? Yeah. Okay. If we end up looking at this low here, we add an SMT, right? So if we look at this low on Nasdaq, this 947 low is actually the sell side liquidity. So this is the internal low on the S&P 500. So this is an SMT with this low, which is just like stupid. Like that's super annoying. If I seen this, I would definitely would have went break even. I literally had this marked out on ES for when ES was to take this low. Then I was looking at it like, okay, if ES takes this low, we're gonna have an SMT here. I was wrong. Nasdaq actually took this low, this shitty little 947 low, which just so happened to be the low that the S&P 500 put in as the internal low. So I should have went break even once we broke past this low, because that was an SMT at the internal low on the S&P 500, and then from there I ended up just getting railed. Super unfortunate is what it is. That's two losses back to back. Both two losses were definitely like arguably should have been break-even trades and not losses, but that's okay. We learn from this, we journal this, and we move on. Nothing really you can do about that, except for just improve off of it. So yeah, it is what it is. Overall, I did really like this trade. I think this trade was definitely A-rated. I just should have went break-even when this happened, when we ended up taking this low, because again, of course, that was the internal low on the S. But I didn't, and I paid the price for that. I ended up losing around 550, 570-ish dollars on this trade due to slippage on the last candle as well. Definitely not the end of the world, but it was a bit frustrating, especially knowing that I should have went break even, and I wonder 100% would have went break even if I was actually paying proper attention. But yeah, shit like that is pretty rare for that to happen. So it is what it is. Not much you can do. And yeah, that's going to be it for today's trade recap, guys. Or I mean Thursday's trade recap. Friday I didn't trade at all. Friday, of course, it was a bank holiday Friday. The market did literally nothing. I didn't even look at the charts that day, because you should not be touching bank holidays and actually putting risk on unless you're like trying to scalp past an eval or something. But I still wouldn't even recommend it. It's just a waste of time. And yeah, honestly, um, I would definitely still label this as a statistical loss, but it could have been avoided with a break even instead of being a loss, right? So it is what it is. But yeah, this was definitely a statistical loss in my opinion. I would rate this A rated, but again, could have been avoided with a break even. Is what it is. I'm repeating myself here, but I'm so tired. Honestly, I just had such a busy week. I just came back from the gym as well. I'm low key. I'm just so tired. I'm definitely sounding like an actual donut right now, but I don't really give a shit. I'm so just gonna upload this the way it is, because just keeping things real here. Um, Once we start collecting some payouts, obviously we'll get more serious into the videos and all that. But yeah, overall, um, yeah, not too mad about it. Is what it is. Was pretty pissed in the moment, but we move forward. Mm-mm-mm-mm. And then, I mean, what are we looking like? Let me just see. Alright, yeah, it's looking like we're definitely. Oh, probably going to end up remaining bullish here. Potentially. Probably end up, yeah, 4-minute market maker buy model right now. So Monday's probably going to end up delivering us higher, especially after we came down and collected all that liquidity inside that new week opening gap. I can see prices higher now. Probably a run back up to all-time highs sounds pretty possible coming into next week. So yeah, except for that, I hope you guys have a blessed rest of your evening or night wherever you are. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. The next video will be on Monday. Going over the market if I ended up taking anything, if I didn't, whatever. And yeah, sorry for the extreme lack of energy and explaining shit probably twice over in my head in this video. I'm super drained, so it is what it is. But yeah, except for that, I will see you guys on Monday, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.